Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're demystifying two absolute titans of modern software development, C# and the .NET platform. You know, at its core, programming is really just giving a computer a set of instructions to follow. And C#? Well, it's the incredibly popular, modern language we use to write those instructions. If you've ever found yourself wondering how developers build the whole shebang, from massive enterprise web apps all the way to immersive 2D games, you are in the exact right place. We're going to use a zoom-in framework today. We'll start with the big picture history and then zoom right into the ecosystem, the language features, the tools you need, and finally, down to the actual code. Okay, let's dive into this.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, the story of C#. Second, the .NET ecosystem explained. Third, top features of C#. Fourth, real-world C# applications. Fifth, your developer toolkit. And finally, number 6, writing your first program.
Section 1. The story of C#.
Now, to really grasp a programming language, I think it always helps to understand why it was built in the first place, right? So picture this. It's 1999, and Anders Heilsberg forms a team over at Microsoft to build a brand new language. Fun fact here, it was originally called COOL, literally an acronym for C-like object-oriented language. Pretty great, right? But due to some trademark reasons, they actually renamed it to C# by the time it was announced in 2000. For a hot minute, C# even had its own mascot. His name was Andy, named after Anders himself, of course. But Andy retired in 2004. That very same year, the Mono project kicked off, which was this massive step toward cross-platform capabilities. Fast forward a bit to 2014, and Microsoft makes a huge paradigm shift. They took .NET Core open source. And looking at the most recent stable releases heading into late 2025, we have C# 14 running on .NET 10.
But, you know, the origin of C# wasn't without a little classic tech industry drama. When it first dropped, James Gosling, the creator of Java, heavily critiqued it. He basically called it an imitation of Java. But C#'s principal designer, Anders Heilsberg, stood his ground. He defended his creation by stating that C# is absolutely not a Java clone, but actually much closer to C++ in its design. Heilsberg felt that the flaws in major languages at the time, like C++, Java, and Delphi, really drove the fundamentals of the new runtime, which then drove the design of C#. And as we've seen over the years, the two languages evolved on completely divergent trajectories.
Section 2. The .NET ecosystem explained.
So it's absolutely crucial to understand that C# doesn't just exist in a vacuum. Think of it like this. If .NET is a massive, fully equipped workshop, then C# is the incredibly versatile multi-tool you use inside it. Historically, if we look at the legacy system, the .NET framework, it was tied exclusively to Windows. It was closed-source, proprietary software, and you literally just updated it via Windows Update. But modern times, a totally different story. Today we have .NET, formerly known as .NET Core. Microsoft completely redesigned the whole thing to be cross-platform, meaning it runs natively on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. It's totally free, open source under the MIT license, and it relies heavily on the NuGet package manager to grab libraries and tools. Honestly, it's a cross-platform powerhouse that completely opened up where and how C# can run.
Section 3. Top features of C#. Let's zoom in on the specific weapons in the C# arsenal that make it so incredibly popular today. Here are the core fundamentals you absolutely need to know. First up, type safety. C# is statically typed, which means variables are checked at compile time. This is huge because it heavily reduces those annoying runtime errors. Second, it uses object-oriented programming, or OOP, which lets you create modular, reusable code through classes and objects. Third, automatic garbage collection. Seriously, this is a massive relief for developers. It automatically frees up memory by trashing unused objects so you don't get memory leaks. Fourth, it comes packed with a rich standard library for things like file handling and database operations. And fifth, asynchronous programming. By using the async and await keywords, your app can handle some really heavy tasks without freezing up the main interface.
Building right on top of those fundamentals, we have the modern capabilities that make C# just super maintainable. There's LINQ, or Language Integrated Query, giving you this awesome SQL-like syntax directly inside your C# code to easily query databases. We have nullable types, which are incredibly useful for database integrations, where, some values might be missing. We have properties with getters and setters. This gives you super clean syntax for managing your object states. Then there's exception handling with your try, catch, and finally blocks, making sure your app catches errors gracefully instead of just totally crashing on the user. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, that robust cross-platform development support.
So, what does this all mean? with all these incredible features, what can you actually build with C#? Theory is great and all, but let's bridge that gap and see what this actually looks like in practice.
Section 4. Real-world C# applications. Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer variety of projects this multi-tool lets you tackle out in the wild. You can build robust inventory management systems that hook up seamlessly with SQL Server databases. You can create internal enterprise task management apps using GUI frameworks like Windows Forms or WPF. Want to manage your budgets and savings? Build a personal finance tracker. You can even tap into external APIs to build a real-time weather app. Or, maybe most exciting for some of you, you can dive straight into 2D game development using incredibly popular engines like Unity or Monogame. Seriously, from massive enterprise databases to immersive video games, C# can basically do it all.
Section 5. Your Developer Toolkit.
Okay, let's zoom in even further. We're moving from the applications themselves down to the actual workbench you need to write your software. Your primary workbench here is the Visual Studio IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. For a lot of folks, the best place to start is by installing Visual Studio Community. It's a completely free, fully featured version. When you first open it up, the interface gives you this massive code editor window right in the center, alongside a Solution Explorer on the side so you can manage all your files. Built by Microsoft, this comprehensive app gives you code completion tools, famously called IntelliSense, plus compilers, and some really advanced debugging tools to facilitate the entire software development process. It is absolutely the premier environment for a C# developer to write, test, and fix their code. But the IDE alone isn't quite the whole picture. The essential core sitting right underneath it is the .NET SDK, or Software Development Kit. Think of it this way. If Visual Studio is the dashboard and the steering wheel, the .NET SDK is the engine. It contains the core runtime, known as core CLR, and the framework class libraries required to actually build, compile, and execute your C# apps right there on your machine.
Section 6. Writing your first program. All right, we have reached the final zoom-in stage. It's time to turn the ignition and see how the actual code is structured. When you create your very first console project in Visual Studio, you're going to see some basic structural scaffolding automatically generated for you. Let's break down that anatomy step by step. First, we have the namespace. This just organizes your code into logical groups, like the system namespace. Second, the class. Literally everything in C# is part of a class or an object. It's the container for your logic. In this case, a program class. Third is the main method. Pay attention here, because this is critical. It is the starting entry point where the .NET runtime actually begins executing your code. And fourth, console.writeLine. This is just a handy built-in method from the .NET framework used to print text right out to the console screen.
Let's move on and see how this builds into an actual working program by pulling those exact pieces together. We declare using system at the very top to bring in our namespace. Then we define our class program. Now, inside the curly braces, which basically act as the boundaries of our code block, we define our static void main method. The static keyword there just means it can run without creating a whole instance of the program, and void means it returns no value. Finally, right inside that method, we call console.writeLine hello world, and guess what? When the .NET runtime executes this, it simply prints the words hello world right to your screen. It's that easy. And that brings us to our final thought for today. With your environment all set up, the history understood, and the fundamental code anatomy officially mastered, what will your very first C# project be? Will it be a task tracker, a slick weather app, or maybe even a 2D game? The tools are completely open source, entirely free, and they're just waiting for you. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and happy coding.